Hi and welcome along to the weekend roundup. Of course, it was the FA Cup this weekend and we're going to round up all of the games with our brilliant panel as usual. Abby Summers.
Morning.
Fresh back from another holiday. That's what I call it. Her nickname's Abby Summer Holidays.
It was a city break. It was a city break.
Oh, a city break. Oh.
I mean, I just class a holiday. I class as longer. Yeah, it was really nice. Nice break.
So, it wasn't a holiday then?
It was a holiday.
It wasn't 2 weeks,
It was a
Rob.
break. Yeah, it wasn't 2 weeks.
So it has to be 2 weeks to be a holiday?
No, I said holiday has to be more than 5 days. City break is like 3.
3 to 5.
3 to 5. Yeah.
She should open her own travel agents, I'll tell you that. Well, listen, great to have you back again.
Happy to be back.
You know what I mean? Abby Summers in the building, of course, massive Tottenham fan. Liverpool fan, AGT in the building.
Just go easy today on the comments, guys, because I'm feeling hella depressed right now.
That's not going to help.
Good.
That'll make it worse. But, yeah,
and the guy's not feeling depressed at all this weekend.
Still
As a matter of fact, he come in, he's been fresh, right? Because they didn't play this week in Chelsea because they got knocked out in the last round. Matisse, Chelsea fan.
So good.
How you doing, Mark?
What are you can't believe?
You're embarrassing. You know
I am
that.
so good.
You are
We're stinking rich. We didn't play, so I didn't take an L. I'm so happy.
You haven't spent any money in a week. You feeling all right?
Right, you guys know the drill. Get involved with the show in the comments. We want to hear from as many as possible. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to us here at DR Sports. First of all, before we touch on some of the games, of course, the transfer window is slamming shut tomorrow. Going to be closed 11 o'clock UK time, and that will be the end of any January transfers. Big news, exclusive news, broke by David Ornstein this morning, that João Cancelo of Manchester City is going to be joining Bayern Munich on loan until the end of the season, likely to include a buy option as well. And a 28-year-old Portuguese player is going to Bayern Munich. That's a big shock. I mean, one of the star players of Manchester City last season on his way out.
It's bizarre. I think they just want to do everything they can to just not win this league. But there's been like rumblings, you know, people saying that Cancelo hasn't been happy, Walker hasn't been happy, Bernardo Silva, to name a few. So I think obviously something's not completely right in the camp. He's not playing that much, Cancelo.
No, he didn't play on Friday.
No, Rico Lewis has kind of been like the first choice starter ahead of Walker and Cancelo. So it's a little bit odd. But I don't really know what they're doing, because he's such a great talented player. I mean, to lose him also halfway through a season, like, is that wise?
Last year, the best right back I'd say in the league. Maybe him or Reece.
Yeah.
Reece James. I mean, it's a strange one.
I mean, I think Pep a few weeks ago last week maybe, I can't remember, but he spoke about mentality, and he spoke about, you know, fans needing to step up. The environment overall, even the top, saying don't rest on your laurels, we need to do this, we need to do that. So I'm guessing Cancelo is one of those players behind the scenes that is maybe missing that extra 5-10% that you need to go for a title. It's still kind of shocking that he's leaving this late in the window, because they need to get someone in. Because on that left-hand side, the only person actually performing is really Nathan Ake, and he's kind of getting himself just above the halfway line, and then you know he's not.
But he loves Ake.
But he scored, obviously,
and he did score on Friday. Yeah. We're going to come to that a little later.
Unless he's going to use Nathan Ake as this like flying fullback or like overlapping third centre back, that left hand side now is looking a little bit, because Rico Lewis is playing off the right, and he's basically playing as a midfielder when he tucks in. So Walker's off the right. So what's happening on the left? Is he going to use Gomez? It's going to be very interesting. But to lose a player of that significance this late in the window, and Bayern Munich is still in the Champions League.
I was actually thinking, will he be able to play in the Champions League?
I think he can. I think there's a new rule that says...
So you're strengthening even a team that you could come up against later
Imagine if he was to score against
I don't
them now in the
think
knockouts.
so.
Would he should be able to play in the Champions
There
League?
must be a clause.
Maybe there's a loan, because it's a loan, maybe
other.
not. Maybe because he's loaned.
Don't know.
Yeah, maybe not.
Not sure.
If the guys behind the production, if you check that out, I'd love to know that for sure. But that's a bit of a shock transfer. João Cancelo on his way to Bayern Munich. Real shock.
Be interesting to see what City do now, if they go and get someone.
Yeah.
Still staying on the transfers. Pedro Porro.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be coming to Tottenham. I see seems to be some little complications with that deal this morning, and suggestions it might fall through.
Yeah, I mean, standard Tottenham really. They've spent, 30 days basically going back and forth saying we'll give you, £4 for something that's £10. No, we'll come back tomorrow, we'll give you £4 for something that's £10, blah, blah, blah. So, look to all be going on. Fabrizio gave it a here we go. He'll be upset that here we go is currently on pause. But I think that there was something in the contract because he was due to have a medical, I think, today. And I think Sporting, from what I read, put something in the contract last minute that Tottenham didn't like, and then they cancelled their medical. But apparently it's not dead in the water. It's still ongoing. It's
because he said goodbye, didn't he?
He said goodbye. But then I was...
Yesterday's game, he's saying goodbye to all the fans.
I was reading a very good thing before, a very good tweet, and it was like Jack Grealish saying he thought his last game for Villa was Hull before he was supposed to come to Tottenham. Never happened. There was someone else that also... Dybala as well, that had said goodbye, done his goodbye video at Juventus before he was meant to come to Tottenham, and that didn't happen. So, it's a pattern, but I'm chill. I'm chill.
I actually walked past Daniel Levy yesterday. I saw him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where?
In Barnet.
Oh, he's going to the bank. No. Maybe to get some money.
I get Pedro Porro. I saw him yesterday, man, and yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, okay. Did you say hello?
No, but I looked back at him as if to say, is that Daniel Levy? And then the woman he was with kept looking at me, more of like a safety thing. Is that guy a Tottenham fan? Is he going to run over? But yeah, I saw him.
Oh, unfortunately, no, it's that AGT.
Rather Alex.
Could have got an exclusive with DR Sports. What's going on?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You know what? Yeah, I could have, but my mind hasn't been there in the right place recently, Rob. It really hasn't.
And still on transfers, have you ever known a window, Matisse, right, where possibly the most expensive signings could possibly be defensive midfielders? I mean, two in question, Moises Caicedo of Brighton, being linked with Arsenal. Another bid for him rejected by Brighton last night, and Brighton saying that they're not selling him at all costs. And there's also Enzo Fernandez of Benfica, he's got that massive £110 million, is it?
20.
Release clause, which now we're being told, I mean, we thought this deal was dead, but we're being told that Chelsea are ready to activate. I mean, where are Chelsea getting all this money from? Right, are ready to activate this release clause. But a lot of money for DMs, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of money, but I think the kind of performances of Rodri, performances of Casemiro, Partey, it shows the importance of making sure your midfield structure is on point. You can not have a world-class striker. Like you say, maybe you guys don't have that up front in Nketiah and Jesus. You could say Man United don't have a world-class striker in Weghorst and Martial. But if you've got that structure there, you're able to really put together a proper team and actually do very well. So I think that's had a part to play in it. Position has been undervalued. But also, we're meant to be flying out a plane for the entire recruitment team to go over there and have a little negotiation, have a wonderful meal, and discuss this transfer. So
better hurry up.
Yeah, we better hurry up. But, deadline day is coming up tomorrow. And I don't know what's going to happen. I think it's 50-50. It could go either way. Personally, I think if we really want to get it done, and a lot of Chelsea fans seem to disagree with me on Twitter, but if you look at Benfica, they're also, from a sporting perspective, they've still got a league title to go for, and they're still in the Champions League. So if you get him in this installments fashion, but you loan him back for the end of the season, like we did with Gusto, and we've also left in Cuckoo at Leipzig, then I think Benfica will take that, because we're not going to pay up front because of FFP. So it's not what people want to hear, because it's a lot of money to pay for someone and then loan them back. But if you don't do that and he goes to Real Madrid in the summer, like a Tchouaméni, you're going to regret it for a lot longer. So for me, just get the player on the books if all means necessary.
How are the Chelsea managing the deal? So they spent
debt-free,
like over 400 million.
Yes,
it is.
Roman sold us, and then obviously cleared the debt. We've been obviously spreading out the contracts, more amortization as well.
Cheating the system?
Basically.
Well, not really, because there's a loophole. And, this is business. Anybody that, sees a loophole in the market, you've got to take advantage
But you're
of it.
the only ones that's doing it.
Well, then you guys should step up your game.
No, but you look, is it a thing where...
How could a London Cowboy come in here and get the game better than everybody else?
No, but does that look good? What the point I'm making is, right, on the one hand, very smart. Because he's manipulated the system and managed to do this. But as the only club that's doing it, do you think now that, obviously now they're going to close this loophole, but do you think it looks good for Chelsea as a club to the rest of Europe when they're looking at Chelsea and thinking, these guys are a bit of a crooks?
I'm seeing Juventus doxed 15 points. That's the real crooks. They're the real crooks, the ones that are actually breaking the rules. We found a loophole in the system and said, you guys ain't going to take advantage of this? Okay, cool. Then we'll do it. And we'll spend whatever it is, 8 million this year for Mudryk and spread that out over 7-8 years. And we'll try and do that for all of our signings and spend effectively maybe 60 million in this window, not the 600 everybody's talking about, and spread it out over the next 10 years, there's risks to that, because if the players don't work out, then you've got them on contracts for a long time. But it's a risk that they're willing to take because they believe in the recruitment. So for me, it's just smart business, and I'm more than happy with it.
I'm sure you are.
Moises Caicedo.
Yeah.
He's at Brighton. He put out this statement
that
you all saw about, his siblings that he has to look after, etc., etc. And the fact that he wants to move. I mean, we've seen this actually with two players this week, because Anthony Gordon, who's just moved to Newcastle as well, he went on strike as well, didn't turn up for training. I mean, where do you stand on this? Do you think the players are wrong to do this? Or do you look on it and say, well, yeah, the guy wants to, he's got a chance to go to Arsenal, could possibly win a league title this year and be playing in the Champions League next season. Why wouldn't you try and seize that opportunity, especially when the club are going to be getting such huge money? Where do you stand on it?
I understand it from like a human aspect, of course, all the things he was saying about his family and everything, I totally understand that. However, I still think you have to be respectful of the people that pay your wages and have given you that opportunity. I mean, Brighton are currently, what are they in the table at the moment? 7th? Something like that?
Sixth
or 7th. They're having a great season. And, if I was their chairman, I'd be saying, look, we've lost Trossard. Okay, fine, that's done. I wouldn't want to be losing another pivotal player in my team when they could finish anywhere this season. They could get Europa League. There's absolutely nothing to say. They couldn't finish in the top 4. This league is so bizarre this year. Yeah. Like, everything is everywhere. So if I'm Brighton, I'm like, why would I want to sell Caicedo? I don't need to cash in and sell him. We've made so much money off of Cucurella or Basuma and everyone they've sold. They know their recruitment system is so good. And whenever someone goes, they have a £4 million replacement that just slots right in.
They've already just bought a Swedish midfielder for 6 mil. And I agree with everything you're saying, but I think the timing of his statement on Instagram or Twitter, wherever it broke first, maybe both. I think the timing of that, he was speaking as if the deal was done, as if it was signed, sealed and delivered.
He's obviously already spoken
it's
to
the
us.
Agency though, isn't it?
The
agency have put it out.
The agents wrote that statement.
Yeah. But, listen, the whole 10 siblings thing, I understand he's come from not much in his country, which
Ecuador.
is truly inspiring to see him doing well and doing better for his family. But that's the whole X Factor thing. My nan's fish died last year, so I'm doing this for her.
He's the youngest of 10 as well. But also, they just got him from Ecuador, for peanuts. I think he was on 3.5k. Then it kind of went up weekly wages.
Wages a week.
Now it's 15k. I think for him, he sees this as once in a lifetime opportunity. But
he's gone around the wrong way of doing it.
He's 21, and I think if his potential is to just keep getting better and better, he will get sold eventually. Brighton's model is maybe similar to a Dortmund. They recruit very cheap and then they go and they offload. There's not going to come a time where Brighton don't need the money, but he's just worried, will a team come in again?
Because if you look at it, if he's looking at it and saying, right, I want to get into possibly one of those teams, the big 6 teams, right? So he'll look on it and say, well, Man United, they've got Casemiro on that, forget that. You guys are about to get Enzo Fernandez.
We could do it.
Possibly Liverpool.
In the summer.
Possibly you're going to pay 80 million for him. And that's the other thing as well, in the case of Brighton. Are they going to get that money in the summer? I personally think that Arsenal, if they don't, because I think Arsenal, there's a lot of desperation in the signing for Arsenal, and the fact that Mohamed El Neni's out long term. They've got no backup really for Partey, right? So they're looking at it and say, we may as well just go and get someone of the highest quality and bring him in. That might change in the summer. If Arsenal haven't got that, and they've got through the season without that player, in the summer they might just say, all right, let's just go Declan Rice and then maybe a cheaper option, and then we're good. So I think he's looking on it, his agent's looking on it, it's it is a now or never sort of move, you know what I mean?
I don't think it is a now or never thing.
But it's almost in that statement,
especially when you've got the possibility of winning a title.
Yeah, if he wants to go and win a league, force through the move to Arsenal, but the way he's spoken about it in that statement, it's like he's making the decision for the club. It's like, you will accept this offer.
He's trying to,
you will do it.
Again, that's the agent. I'm not gonna say it's him, because he's
it's the agent. He's got new agents as well.
He's 21. It's the first time he's ever had a massive magnitude kind of this magnitude kind of move. His agency's new. They've come in last week, and they've gone, right, opportunity here. We're going to go for it, and
yeah,
they've
but
just
I think
the wrong way to do it,
it's
though.
totally the wrong way to do it. You shouldn't be advising as an agency that that's how you do it. You know, basically putting yourself out there when
Thanking the
nothing's
chairman.
even done.
Thanks for the memories.
Thanks for the memories. Like,
What?
you haven't
'Cause
even had anything signed or accepted. It's just like, no. And if I was a chairman, I'd be like, no.
But this is why
Exactly.
I think that's what's happening.
Brighton are
Exactly
digging their
that.
heels in because they've lost Ben White, they've lost Cucurella, they've lost Graham Potter, they've lost
Basuma,
Trossard, Basuma, they've lost their whole recruitment team, and they're thinking to themselves, you guys are just going to just keep taking and not
But
give.
they are getting
And
some
also,
good money for these signings.
what
They
made me
lose it for
They
free,
are.
did they?
They are.
Just before we move on, do Brighton fans even want him to play now?
That's a good question.
I
He's
think
going to have egg on his face. He
I
said
think
thanks for the memories.
yeah.
Now he's got to go back to training.
Football fans.
because remember the Tottenham fans
Yeah.
with but I think with Harry Kane it was a little different because he's got so much credit in the bank.
Oh, loads
Yeah.
of credit. Yeah.
And I also think that in the case of Harry Kane, there were a lot of Tottenham fans that looked on it and said, fair enough, he's given us a lot.
yeah.
He owes
If
us
he wants
nothing.
to, he owes us nothing.
I was one that said that, but it was how he went about it. And
Yeah.
look, football is very fickle, like we said. It only lasted maybe 3-4 games where we were like, no, you're not coming back into the side. Then we were like,
Scores a
we
couple
need you.
goals
Yeah, and Caicedo, if he comes back into Brighton, he has a good few games, and it's forgotten about, and it's something that's on hold till the summer.
Or they could just say, you're in the under 23s now, mate. You're not coming
I don't
anywhere
think
near
they
the
do.
first.
He throws
I don't
Trossard out.
think
Mate, they just
He did
beat
for-
Liverpool
a player that
2-1
could
without
get
him.
Yeah, and that's
They don't
the
even need
thing
him,
in football as well. Look how they throws out Trossard. That's why sometimes we look at it from a fan's point of view, the owners look at it from an owner's point of view, the players are looking at it from their point of view. Look at Trossard, how he throws him out, right? Look at how they got De Zerbi. They've gone to Shakhtar, his contract was still running, you know what I mean? They've gone and got him. So, a lot of these players looking at him, they're looking at their career. Like he said, he's looking at his family, his siblings.
Of course.
But let's see how that one plays out. Of course, it's transfer deadline day tomorrow. We're going to be all over it here on DR Sports, so make sure you check it out. We're going to be doing transfer deadline shows throughout the day, and we've got a special deadline show in the evening, so make sure you check it out. We're doing a poll on this as well. Should Brighton let Moises Caicedo leave in January? 57% of you at the moment are saying yes, 43% of you saying no. Stay and stew. Right, let's get into some of those weekend games. Where shall we start? Let's start with Chelsea. Oh, sorry, I forgot you got knocked out.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But listen, I can't talk this week. Let's start with Tottenham. Ladies first. Let's start with Tottenham. That
Great
was
result.
that was a good result. Away Preston.
I'm not
No,
sarcastic.
it was a good result.
It's just difficult to not laugh. isn't
yeah.
it?
2 goals again for Son. It seems like this is the competition. He hasn't been scoring no goals in the league, but he scored a hat-trick in the last round.
Yep.
And
It
2
seems-
more in this, and 2 unreal
Great goals.
goals.
Yeah, they
the
were
first
really
one
good.
was brilliant.
They were really good. It seems like he's found his level this season.
What, against Preston?
Damn it. Abby's not happy.
No, look, it was a good win. You can only beat what's in front of you. I actually only watched about 25 minutes of it, to be honest with you. So I didn't
Still
see...
not forgiving them.
I'm not forgiving them for a very long time. I went to puppy yoga and I got back and put it on.
Puppy yoga instead of watching Tottenham.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
got
blame
that
them.
bad.
I'm going to
Those
baby
dogs are
shower
cute.
this weekend instead of City. It's
not bad. It's not
I
those
don't care.
Those dogs were cute.
They were really cute.
They look cute.
So I only saw about 25 minutes, but they look good. I mean, some good goals. I actually haven't seen the Dan Juma goal. Obviously,
Good
we signed
finish.
him last week
Decent
as well.
finish, decent finish.
I heard it was a decent finish.
Decent
Son's
finish.
goals look good. Again, from what I kind of read and what I heard on Twitter and from friends, is that first half, again, they looked quite slow. Couldn't really... Obviously, they were dominating the ball against Preston, but they weren't really converting anything or creating too much. Final third was a little bit lacklustre. And then, obviously, second half, they kind of picked up, which is just the way Tottenham are playing this season. First half, you might as well just snooze it, not bother tuning in. But yeah, look, they got the job done. I really think they should try and focus and be in this cup competition as long as possible. This is a good one to kind of go down. It's competitive, but it's not unwinnable.
A lot of the big boys are out now.
Yeah, a lot of the big boys are out, apart from kind of like Manchester City. Trying to think who else went through
United.
league.
Man City, Man
Leeds.
United, but you say you're the next
Leeds, isn't
highest
it? Yeah,
ranked
there's,
team in the competition. Chelsea are out, Arsenal are out, Liverpool are out.
Yeah,
You know?
this is a really good opportunity for Tottenham, and obviously we kind of threw away the League Cup, didn't really bother to do anything with that, got knocked out against Forest, and I think that if they're going to try and salvage anything from this season, then put your eggs in this basket. It'd be good to see Tottenham go on a cup run. Champions League is coming back shortly. However long we stay in that, I don't know. I mean, AC Milan haven't won since October, which means bring on
They're
Dr.
having a
Tottenham.
really
They're having
bad time.
nightmare.
Bad time.
Really bad. So there's an opportunity there for Tottenham to get something, I guess, if they turn up on the day. But I want to really kind of focus on the cup, because for me, I've said I don't think we're going to get top 4, even though we're not too far away from it. And if we had a good second half of the season, maybe. But I think just try and focus on a cup.
What does top 4 even mean anything?
The only thing it means for Tottenham is financially, you know, and I guess maybe keeping Kane for an extra for the last year of his contract. But you know, it is what it is. You know, there's lots of things that are being said. Obviously, Conte is definitely not, I guess, staying. There's lots of reports about that. Apparently, the club haven't even offered him a contract extension. So they're going to be looking for someone else in the summer. I can't see that turning around at all, whether it's Pochettino or whoever. I understand how important Champions League is to getting that, you know, for recruitment, I guess, in the summer if they're going to spend any money at all, and attracting players. And it's a lot harder, I think, this season to actually even get top 4. But I would just like to see, if anything, from this Conte era, maybe he can get us a cup, and I'd be happy with the cup.
Yeah, it was a impressive win. A couple of great goals by Son.
Yeah, and Danjuma getting his goal on his debut, I think, will give Tottenham fans a little bit more hope going into the league games now, with something maybe to start or bring off the bench that's better than what you've already got. So
he did look lively when he come on, that Danjuma.
It was a good finish.
He's a good player. He did a really good season.
He's clearly a good player. There's no doubt about that. You know, but Tottenham will be hoping he can transfer that into league as well.
He's also got Champions League experience as well.
Yeah.
And I know Son
scored against Liverpool in the semi-final last year for Villarreal.
I remember actually that game watching.
He had a great season, didn't he?
And I mean, Son's been having a dreadful season. I know he got the goals on the weekend, but you know, it's kind of like he hasn't been bothered to drop him at all for Richarlison, and Richarlison's barely had that much game time apart from like cameos. So I guess it's someone else to kind of challenge and be like, you know, if you continue this form in the Premier League, I will drop you because there's someone else that I can bring on, and that's what we've needed. We've been so unbalanced up front this season. Especially
Brian Gill's going back to Seville as well.
Yeah, I mean, I quite like Brian. I would have liked to see him develop more, but I think he'll probably just go back there and then sign in the summer on permanent. I don't sometimes see the point of us buying these young talents that we then have to kind of develop, because we haven't got the type of managers recently that do that. So unless you get someone back in that's like a Pochettino or someone that can develop youth and talent, there's no point. I saw us linked today actually with someone that's coming from Chelsea Academy.
Oh yeah, our young striker from the academy.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't see the point, because we've had young strikers in Troy Parrott and Dane Scarlett, and I've seen nothing.
Parrott actually plays for Preston. He couldn't play in the game. He
couldn't play, but they've been on loan. And you know, Troy Parrott 3 years ago was said to be, you know, really, really high quality. Was the next Kane to break through. I mean, don't see the kid. Never see him.
But this is a big chance for Tottenham, as I said. No Arsenal, no Chelsea, no Liverpool, no Newcastle, right? I mean, got to go on and win it now, isn't it? It's just about time.
Yeah.
About time, isn't it?
About time. It's long overdue, Rob. I mean, it's
15 years.
15 years? Oh my God, it's 15 years. That's so bad.
Start singing that Chaz and Dave song, you know?
Yeah. No, it's very, very, very much overdue. I would love Tottenham to win a trophy. I'd love to have something that was good out of this season. I know people will say, oh, it's not that bad. You're still in the race to top 4. You could be worse, you could be Everton. Yeah, but, you know, we're not Everton. I'm looking at it from a Tottenham perspective. Yeah, but you've had success. If I'd had the success that you'd had and we were having a dodgy season, I wouldn't care as much, because I've had something. I've got something to hold on to. So I've got nothing to hold on to.
So are all Tottenham fans finally unanimous, like I said on the Saturday Football Show, about winning a trophy over top 4? What's more important?
Top 4.
I've been asking this question.
Yeah. Let's
take the trophy up.
I don't know. I change my mind all the time, because I think for the club, top 4 is the most important thing. For the fans, I think it's the trophy. So I can see the benefit of both.
What are you taking?
I'm just still
take the trophy.
I'd probably take the trophy. I have changed my mind at least 2-3 times this season. I've changed my mind.
For me, it should be so clear cut. I don't know how.
I'm with you.
I don't know how it's a conversation, especially when I saw them qualify.
Because when I look at the way that we do things with having Champions League money, and we barely do the right thing.
Even last summer, it wasn't.
No, but you know, it's having the option to actually spend the money if you want to spend it, because our owners don't do anything. So it's like, if we don't have Champions League, what's the repercussions of that for Tottenham? If we win a trophy, that's not going to attract, you know, the type of players that Tottenham need to rebuild in a
I think it should be clear. I mean,
all hope is lost on the owner.
Well, no, all hope is dead and
then you
buried.
may as well pick up a trophy.
No, I agree, and that's kind of why, like, now I'm more like I'd rather have a trophy than get top 4. But I do change my mind a lot. So if you ask me in another week, I might change my mind.
For me, as a Tottenham, you know, you're a Tottenham fan. You haven't won a trophy for God knows how long. How long is it? 15 years.
For Harry Kane as well. Pick up something before you leave.
No, I know, but it's just a bit sad, isn't it?
Right, win a trophy. I mean,
better than nothing.
It's better than nothing.
I think that would be better for Tottenham this year
100%.
than getting in the top 4. Win a trophy. Shut people like me up and all Arsenal fans and Chelsea fans and that. You know what I mean? Especially if it was something like the FA Cup.
But the next thing, well, firstly, I genuinely think even if we got to the final, it could be Stoke that we had in the final. I still don't think we'd win it because I just think the mentality is so poor. However, I would like us to win it because I think that maybe that's a change and a shift in mentality. And I've always been of the mindset that if they win one, they will be able to win another trophy and get that kind of like hoodoo off their back. But it's whether or not they actually can do it. They've been in so many situations over the years, going back to when Poch was there, you know, semi-finals, finals, couldn't get themselves over the line. I'm not talking about the Champions League final because that was over and done within 23 seconds, but there were so many chances that they had and they just couldn't get themselves over the line with the team that was unbelievable. So the only team that's ever managed to do anything was under our worst manager that we've had since Daniel Levy joined, and probably one of the worst squads as well, I guess. So I don't know. I'm just very.
We got a poll on it.
Just very over
we got a poll on it.
I'm over them.
As a Spurs fan, which one would you rather win, or which one would you rather, top 4 or a trophy? At the moment, 75% are saying a trophy, right? So that's what's. But we keep that going.
I'd like a nice day out.
You could do it, a trophy. Well, you can go to, if you want a nice day out, you can go to Puppy Yoga.
Puppy Yoga.
Highly
recommend, guys. If you ever want to just be happy for an hour, just go to Puppy Yoga.
I like the way you booked that to overlap the top.
I didn't even book it. My friends booked it for me for my birthday. And I was like, this is the best thing ever.
Okay, well, let's recommend that to Alex because
I've got my own puppy, mate.
What a segue.
Who poos everywhere.
Yeah, we're moving to the Liverpool game now. Liverpool versus Brighton yesterday. Liverpool went 1-0 up through Harvey Elliott. Then they were pegged back, deflected goal, Lewis Dunk, and then the goal that won it. Again, another Brighton masterpiece. This guy costs about £4 million. He's worth about 70 million probably now as well. Mitoma with a fantastic goal and another defeat. You must be sick of the sight of Brighton.
Yeah.
Right?
Sick of the sight of Liverpool, if I'm honest.
You're sick of the sight of Liverpool?
Yeah, I hate watching them at the minute. It's painful. It's horrible to watch at the minute.
It's a safe space. Let it out.
No, yeah. I feel like I'm in therapy
to all of
right
us.
now.
Let it out. The table was yours.
We got 3 cameras on you.
Where do I even start, man? I think what needs to happen with Liverpool now is, obviously, we write this season off. I'm not going to be positive anymore. We're not getting top 4. We're not getting top 6. And what needs to happen now is not a change of manager. I don't think that will change our results. But what does need to happen is new owners and to get rid of a good. And this
Did
is
you
the first
just even
time.
just mention and suggest the change of manager?
No, you're not listening.
No, you
to
said
what I
not a change of manager, but that to even be mentioned.
Well, that's what they've put in the title. So
are there Liverpool fans actually saying?
Of course there is.
They're Liverpool fans saying change the manager.
I'll use the word fans very lightly.
Hey,
It can't be a large portion.
It's not a large portion.
It's a small portion. But what I'm saying is that isn't the answer. The answer is, I mean, what happened to this new ownership that we were talking about? Where's all that chat gone? We're so far away and we're so removed and we're not privy to any of these conversations, as maybe it should be as fans. But at the same time, there's been no update about the new owners. There's been no update about squad improvement. So for me, the only thing that can happen now, and again, this isn't an immediate fix, this is in the summer, is that we get new owners who really back the team and the manager, and we get rid of a good 4 and it was about 3 players for me to get rid of. Now it's about 6, if I'm honest. I think some of the performances yesterday highlight where we need to invest. The midfield, Fabinho should have been sent off. Disgusting cameo.
How was he not sent off?
Disgusting cameo from him. I think Joe Gomez has probably got to leave now as well, which, I mean, we did keep, buy or sell. I think keep bench or sell. I think he's gone from bench to sell now. How he's been done by the same goal that Welbeck scored 2 weeks ago and Mitoma scored yesterday, how he's been done the same goal twice is just showing that we're not really taking on negatives. We're not improving. We're just putting out the same performances every week. We were lucky to even be 1-0 up. I knew we'd still lose that game.
Ali I says Weghorst has more goals than Gakpo.
Yeah, and he does.
Laughing emojis.
He does, but Gakpo has been playing massively out of position. But again, he has to take some flack as well for not. The
GOAT says, "What new owner? Your manager wanted Cody Gakpo instead of a midfield."
Well, he obviously wanted more than just Gakpo, whether that was a defender, a midfielder, whatever. We needed and wanted more than Gakpo, but we're not going to get it. And why? Because our owners are looking to invest in other sporting franchises.
The manager said he was happy with the team. Gakpo, I even saw him saying he doesn't need nothing else.
So after the
he said he needs nothing else.
So let me ask this question: is he becoming like a Wenger, where he shields the board and he wants to do the 10 years because he said he wants to stay at Liverpool for 10 years, and he's going to shield FSG and he's going to look after them and cushion them and cuddle them and say, "Oh, we don't actually need a midfielder." When
I don't
very
like that,
clearly
though.
you do.
Yeah, what he said in the press conference last night after the game. He kept saying about small steps in the right direction. That's worn off for me now.
Waffle.
You've said that for 3 weeks, but then also to say that the squad is all good, that is something I cannot agree with. And listen, there have been times when I've disagreed with what Klopp said. It's not all been roses and flowers the whole 7-8 years, but right now, to say that the squad is all good, that's almost an insult to fans because we're watching it every week. It isn't all good. Now we need to get rid of, I would say, Keita's got to go, Ox has got to go, Milner's got to go, I'd say Fabinho's got to go, Joe Gomez has probably got to go, Nat Phillips is probably going to go. So there's 6 or 7 off the bat. So what are you going to do? Replace them with 6 or 7 or replace them with 3 or 4? The whole squad needs a refresh, an overhaul. And again, I don't think, and I still do believe this, guys, and again, people are going to disagree with me in the comments, but I still do believe that Klopp is the man, but he just needs all the other parts around him to be top for him to... But again, these post-match comments aren't helping. That is an insult to the fans to say. Is
he coming to an end, Klopp?
After you've just said what you...
At Liverpool, is he coming to an end?
Contradict yourself,
I'm asking Abby. I'm asking you. All right, relax, man. You know what I mean? I know you're not used to this pain. Like me and Abby have been through this pain.
And Mo Salah's been atrocious as well, by the way.
But this is a safe space. As Abby said,
tough times, man. This is a long-term manager.
You watched me have a full-on breakdown 2 weeks ago. Okay, it happens to the best of us. Do I think he's finished, Jurgen Klopp? No, I don't. I think that the squad is finished in this cycle, and I can only compare it to, obviously you were successful with yours, we weren't, but the same type of thing when me and Alex sometimes talk about this like off air, when we say that, do you remember when you came to Wembley and we beat you 4-1?
Yeah, October 2017.
Yeah, and
that was our turning point.
Yeah, and Ericsson, I think was Ericsson scored in the first minute or something. Was that game?
I think Ericsson, Son, Kane, they all scored.
It was
that day.
that game was a really pivotal point. We were at this point. I think Liverpool changed. And at this point, Tottenham were at a very good point, but needed to elevate, and they never elevated enough. They didn't change the squad quick enough. They were too reactive, as always.
2 months after that, we bought Van Dijk.
Yeah, and that's when Alisson, and that's when they started to change. And then Liverpool obviously went ahead. And I think that this is where it's come to. Again, they've been a little bit reactive in their cycle in getting new players in the right things. I think that maybe prioritising Cody Gakpo over getting someone in midfield was the wrong decision. I don't think Cody Gakpo was necessary for you to... Well, I think it was probably a board decision as well. If you're offered Cody Gakpo, you're going to say, yeah, I'll take him. He's had a good World Cup. I always think don't buy players off the back of a World Cup. Tottenham have done it many, many times. Doesn't work out. But I think if you're offered Cody Gakpo, you take him, but not at the cost of not being able to bring in what they actually needed, which was a midfielder. And obviously they didn't have that in the summer. They bought in Melo. Where is our Melo? Is he coming back?
Still injured.
God,
who's up?
Played 13 minutes for Liverpool so far.
He's played how many minutes? Did you say
13 minutes.
13 minutes.
In a 4-1
So
defeat to Napoli,
that's the thing again.
by the way.
You went and panic bought him. Obviously, that wasn't for anyone to know he was going to get injured straight away and have such a bad injury. But I think in January, the first thing you should have been thinking
because
of,
he's
actually injured.
He's actually been injured the past 2 seasons.
You couldn't have guessed that he was going to be injured. Basically, you
play with fire, you're going to get burnt.
Everybody avoided.
Yeah.
Everybody avoided.
But they were desperate, and that's why when it got to it was, and that's why when it got to January,
which is actually embarrassing.
I thought they must be looking to bring in a midfielder over someone like Cody Gakpo. Maybe Klopp thought you'd be able to get both. But
we're only talking about this because Gakpo hasn't played well.
He's not coming to an end.
Stop trying to force that, Robbie. There's not people agreeing with that. The clear thing that we need to do is sort out the ownership and bring in some new players.
Do you think
it's a legitimate question to ask, right?
Do you think that though?
When he was,
let me ask you.
Let me just give you some context to this. First club he was at, was it Mainz?
Yeah, Mainz.
7 years, fell to pieces.
Yeah.
Second club he was at, Dortmund.
Fell to pieces.
Brilliant, 7 years. How long has he been at Liverpool?
7 years.
This is his 8th
Right, so
year
it's a legit
things don't last forever.
question to ask, right? Last season, incredible in everything. This season, you said, not me, you said, you're not making no excuses no more. You said it's been terrible. You said it's been poor, so that's why I'm asking. the question.
Tactically,
is it coming to an end? Because listen, I've been there with Arsene Wenger. It's a bit like what Matisse was saying.
I mean, he was 10 years beyond what we're talking
Obviously,
about.
Obviously, it was a lot longer, but I
can't really compare them.
I do see a little
that
similarities.
last 8 years was pretty much.
I do see a lot of similarities, like what Matisse was saying.
What, so in
where
Wenger's last 8 years, did he win the Prem, Champions League and every cup available? No. So this man still has credit and time in the bank.
No, he does.
to
But
turn
what I'm
things
saying is
around.
that your next 8 years, what are you going to?
Well, this is the key moment.
Yeah,
this is how we
and that's why
define
we're
what the next
asking
8 years
exactly.
are.
That's why the question:
That's
Do you
why we're asking the question.
want to go
answer to-
through like the next seven years, the last stint of Wenger? Do you want that for Liverpool? Is Klopp worth that? Where you're like, okay, we're going to literally live and die by Klopp. And I'm not saying that it's Klopp, because for me, it will become a Klopp thing if you don't flip that squad quickly.
Agreed.
This is literally, as much as everybody likes to make jokes about Todd Boehly, a lot of you need Todd Boehly right now. Klopp needs a Todd Boehly. You need to flip that team.
I'd love it.
You need to flip that team, because, like you mentioned with Poch, if you don't flip that team quickly enough for Klopp to rejuvenate and then get a hold of things again with a fresher team, then it's gonna just gonna keep disintegrating.
But you don't actually have to flip the whole team. If you can see, like, look at Sir Alex. All he used to ever do was buy maybe two players a season
but they're
to
behind.
rebuild.
They're lagging behind.
But we've tried to do that, but we've waited too many windows. So
No,
now
that's
it's
what I
gone
mean.
from 1 to 2
Yes.
players
So
to
now
3 to 4.
Yeah,
Now we
sure.
need 4 to 6 now.
100%. It's the same thing at Tottenham. But I'm saying if people would take that model and do things when you're at the top, you say, okay, well, do you know what? Okay, they're having a great season, but it's time to move
But this
things
is
on.
I mean,
years we've
what do
been
you say
talking
to
about Liverpool now.
what do you
Trust me,
say
I
to
know.
this comment from Zombie Ruler? He says Klopp named Milner and Henderson as the midfield option at the start of the season.
Yeah.
He can't let go. He's not ruthless enough on that subject of Sir Alex, who always was pretty ruthless, knew when to replenish. These are his go-to guys.
And that's why the Wenger
Klopp.
But we
comparisons
can't
come from as
blame
well.
Klopp for that, bro. You have to understand
Well,
that
he's in charge,
people
yeah.
Look at the
above.
board,
No,
though.
obviously,
It's the
Robbie. If
board.
you think Klopp's in charge of transfers, then I don't know what world you're living in. That's not
he's-
how football works, mate.
What do you say to what that guy just said? He named Milner
When? For
and
what game?
Henderson as the midfield option at the start of
Just
the season.
2. That's not even true. Robbie.
Hold
we
on.
play with the midfield 3, so that's just.
He
I don't know
almost
what he's on
mentioned.
about.
He also
what I
mentioned
mean?
Curtis
All right,
Jones.
nothing personal, mate.
He also
I'm
mentioned.
saying, what's he on about?
He also mentioned Curtis Jones. I don't know if Curtis Jones is good enough, but he mentioned all of those players in the summer, along with Tuchel. Same thing. They mentioned a list of midfielders, 8-9 midfielders that they didn't actually have the right profile, or they weren't actually of the level ready to actually do the job. So now you're coming. The question of Klopp is not if he's got to recruit. No, of course he's not a scout. He needs an Edwards. He needs a recruitment team. His talent ID is looking very shaky if he's signed off on Gakpo, because I think Gakpo right now, and then you're playing him up front. You're not playing him in his favourite position.
Because Nunes has been injured, so he's had to play in there. Yeah.
But even, why not move Salah down the middle and put Elliott in the
Salah
right
needs
wing?
to be
I asked you that
dropped.
on the preview.
Salah needs to be dropped.
Exactly. So that's another issue. But the thing is with Klopp is he going to demand the changes that he actually needs? If he's not ruthless enough to do that, then and FSG don't leave, then they're going to keep taking the mick. They're going to keep taking the mick out of him, and they're going to be like, well, he's not demanding it. We don't need to do it. So we're just going to just chill. Everybody just sit here and just enjoy the party.
And that's why I'm saying the answer to all these comments and these questions isn't for Klopp to leave, because if Klopp leaves and someone else comes in, they've still got the same problem at board level.
If that person that comes in is more outspoken than Klopp and more ruthless,
but then once you start,
FSG won't hire that kind of person.
So once you start out speaking above the board, then you're not going to last long
Listen, all you
anyway.
need to do is just look directly at Tottenham. This is you don't want to end up where we are. Because it's the same pattern.
We will.
Yeah, but it's the same
go through
pattern.
some
You don't want to
comments.
end up where we are.
IQ Insane says he needed a midfielder. He goes and signs Gakpo. It's Klopp who's to blame. Alier says AGT so triggered. The Liverpool guy's being defensive now, says Mulibar. DT247, AGT is upset. Get Robbie off, says Dwayne. He's deluded.
Yes, 100% agree with that. He was late as well. That's why we're all late today.
Undone
And
says-
last week, by the way, just to put the light
Undone
back on
says
you.
punch ups. Elman says AGT triggered.
course I am.
AGT's rattle, says
done.
Aidan.
Yes. Well
AGT
done.
loves Klopp like he's his dad.
Yes, I love him. I love you, Dad, but I love Klopp.
Robbie is trolling, says Troy.
I won't say that.
Robbie is trolling. Listen, I'm not trolling. I'm just trying to ask the
AGT
questions.
is a waste man as well. Thanks for that.
I'm asking the questions.
Cheers, Mum.
That one was accurate.
Right? Listen, I used to get these questions asked me all the time. You know,
Yo.
do you want Wenger in? Do you want him out? Listen, I've gone through years of that.
You haven't
These
even
are
had a song.
legitimate questions to ask.
They haven't even had a song. You remember Wenger in, Wenger out? Do you remember that song? You haven't even got a song yet.
All right, bro.
There's
chill out.
a long way to
They're
go.
all legitimate questions, but I'm trying my best to give you a an answer that isn't just defensive, because I am pointing the trigger at Klopp a little bit for coming out with these statements that are clearly offensive to the fan base. If you're coming out and saying the squad's all good, no, it's not.
But
Don't lie to
if you
us.
genuinely think that managers really and truly, maybe Pep would have a say in who is brought in. Most clubs do not give a manager any leeway or any decision. They might say, I want Messi, and you end up with
But they are
Dan Juma.
But someone of Klopp's value to Liverpool is going to have not a say. He's not going to have the final decision, but he's definitely going to have an input.
Well, he might be able to say, I don't want that one.
A 49% say in terms of this is the player I want. But
so
then
he has
again,
to get that right.
If he's not getting that, then how can you blame him for that?
Yeah.
But if he's coming out and saying we don't need a midfielder, then what's he saying behind the scenes?
Well, that's what we'd all like to know.
He's protecting.
All right, let me do a few more comments here. Jack Mannion says Klopp is the only one to blame here. Michael Edwards made him, and now he broke him and left him. Mikash says, laugh out loud, AGT, you were late for the COP TV yesterday. Right, so I forgot to mention
Jesus.
it. Is that true?
That is true.
Wow.
And he having a go at me.
But you were twice you were
having
2
a go
weeks
at me,
in a
and
row.
I was doing another show.
I told you late this morning.
Just before that.
It's never good.
David says Brighton spent less than Liverpool. Klopp has been backed. Klopp gets praised for when things go well, but doesn't get criticised for when they go bad.
Do you know the thing is with Klopp that I don't get with this Pep thing as well? Klopp has got the whole fan base on the side, or 99% of the fan base. Klopp's got a lot of power. Klopp's got a lot of loyalty. So Klopp has the kind of power to say, do you know what? I'm not going to completely protect you guys. I'm actually going to say it how it is, because what are you going to do? Sack me? What are you going to do then? The Liverpool fans are going to turn on you. So I don't buy this notion. When you talk about lack of power, it usually comes from managers that on short-term contracts, 18 months, like a Tuchel or whatever, or it comes from managers that don't have the credit in the bank, don't have the CV, don't have the loyalty of the fans. You can't speak out, no. But Klopp, you're telling me Klopp can't speak out when he's won every single trophy for Liverpool. He's had incredible seasons. He's got the whole fan base behind him, and he can't say, even in a cheeky way, we could do with someone, but we'll see what happens. So I'm not buying this rubbish. I'm not saying Klopp is the whole problem, but Klopp is part of the problem now, because
I'm not letting him off.
He has to grow some kahunas, and he has to come and speak properly on the matters that are issues, because if he doesn't do that, I'm not going to believe that he knows what the problem is.
I actually super chat, he says Klopp has spent a fortune, the man is finished. AK Dash says, how long does Klopp get a pass from AGT? How long does he get a pass?
You're not listening to what I'm saying. He does have to take some responsibility. He does. But I'm not saying that he's the main problem. Of course, when we're losing games and he's coming out with flippant comments that the squad's all good, that is where I start to look at it and say, well, if you think that, then we're definitely in trouble.
If
you can't see that,
isn't that where you got to blame him then?
That's what I'm saying. He's getting blamed for that. But the other problems, the lack of investment, how can I blame Klopp for that?
Why spend more when your manager's saying it's all good?
But you're not listening. You're trying to twist what I'm saying, Robbie. Isn't he?
He is. He's trying to twist it.
Right, if you're listening to what I'm saying,
if I turn around on this show, right? If I turn around on this show, right, and like say the camera guys, the production team said, "Hey, Robbie, you know what? We could do it on 2 new cameras, man. You know what I mean? Because we think the production's dropped." And I said, "No, I think everything's fine, man. It's all good." When the criticism starts coming in, right, I can't then. You know what I mean, I said it. I said I'm all good with these cameras.
100%.
Yeah, but
so I've got a hole in.
There's no way that Klopp, behind the scenes, in boardrooms,
then don't. Because I'm going by what he said.
Because managers do it. Because Pochettino did it. Pochettino did it. Pochettino's out there and said that you can have a lovely house, but if your furniture's crap, it's crap. And at the end of the day, Klopp will start to do that. He'll make the little digs. He will start to do it. But at the minute,
well, I'm waiting to see. I want evidence, because there is nothing to read in between the lines.
He's not
taking away.
Quite easily come out and say we need a couple of midfielders.
You know what? I'm not saying FSG. I'm not asking him to come to the press conference and say FSG out and look down the camera lens. I'm saying to him, okay, why can't you say we could probably do with a midfielder, but we'll see what happens.
He has said this stuff. He has said this.
No,
he said if the right opportunity comes up, we will go in for it. Clearly, let me finish. He said last week, not last summer, last week, he said about every position, if there's a right opportunity to come up that is the right price, of course we'd do it. Why wouldn't we do it? We're not just going to sit back and watch everyone else get their thing.
Last season, he said he didn't need a midfielder. So last season.
But last week,
that's what I heard.
Again, you're not watching press conferences like I am. Last week, and I did a video on the COP TV. You can go and watch it. Last week, he said, "Of course, we will act if the right opportunity is there."
So why is he saying now it's all
because
good?
clearly the right opportunity right now with 1 day to go in the window isn't there. We're not going
What's
to
he
be
been doing all
taken for
January?
months.
What's he been doing all January?
Okay,
Fucking hell,
Alex,
this is
I'm trying to
painful, bro.
help you
That's
here.
fine. So
I'm
why
trying-
say
Shit stir around.
So
Robbie,
why
I
say
can't
it's
lie.
all good
People
when you
in the
could say
comments
actually
it as
it's
well.
not all good?
Because what do you want him to say?
It's
He's
not
not
all
the type
good.
of manager that is going to do that.
Your manager says it, no?
But that's because
Comes
the type of
out-
manager is.
He ain't getting a new
He's not
contract,
getting a new
is he?
contract.
So he's done it the wrong
He's not
way.
getting a new
No,
contract.
listen. All right, so let me give you an example. Mikel Arteta came out, right? Whether he gets it or not, Mikel Arteta came out this January and says, "Yo, you know what? We need signings. The squad's not big enough. We need to get some signings in." He goes, "We need a midfielder." They're trying to get him a midfielder. It might not happen. They might not get Caicedo.
So you don't think
but
that
they're trying
they're trying to do that
But
at
he's
Liverpool?
made it clear. We need this.
So do you not think we're linked to looking at anyone then?
You
I don't
have,
know.
we have seen
I
the
don't know.
links
I don't know.
to midfielders.
We've been linked to 20 midfielders. I can read them out to you now.
Onahi
I'll read them out
Most
to
of them
you
are
right
from
now.
Onahi from Morocco, right?
Anyway, before you read that out, let me just get there's a few more super chats here.
20
And then
names
we get-
there.
Yeah.
You know,
I've not heard Klopp mention
Onahi
her.
from Morocco, right? He plays in the
That's
midfield.
not how we do
He had a
business
great
like
World
you,
Cup,
man,
and
bro.
where's he going? He's going to Marseille. Guess how much? 10 million euros. You like Onahi? Onahi from Morocco? You remember
heard
his
of
World
him,
Cup
to be honest.
performances?
He was
you
good.
have heard of him.
good, you watched
Him
him
and
play.
I've heard of Amrabat,
Him and
Tchouameni,
Amrabat. He
Enzo,
played next to Amrabat in midfield.
Zakaria,
You ain't got
Neves,
10 million euros? You ain't got 10
Bellingham,
million euros.
all
no?
these
All right,
man.
listen, I'm going to move it on, right? But let me just say a couple more super chats. Nick Man says, "No sympathy for Liverpool fan. You belong where you belong."
need
Ha
it.
ha.
Brilliant. Cheers,
He's
mate.
like Graham Souness. Never gives credit to United. Whole that. Hashtag 7-year curse, he
What's that
says.
got anything to
And
do with
Red
it?
says Klopp is just a coward. He'd rather the owners be the fall guy. An accountant can be a manager. Wenger did the same in the last 10 years under the Kroenkes. We did a poll. Is Klopp's time coming to an end at Liverpool? And, it just disappeared. I think it was 60%. 60% said yes. 40% said no. And Tina with another super chat says AGT and the Liverpool fans have to wake. The reason why Klopp did not go to United, where the Glazers told him that Wood would run the transfers, not Klopp. FSG told Klopp, we would give you the players.
Don't you think
Obviously
owners say
they're
a lot
not.
of things?
And also, Balal, Robbie the master at shit stirring. So just for some balance. Just for some balance.
The
That's
thing
what
is,
people are saying
I'm
as well.
asking
the questions.
Legitimate questions that I come in. I've been
is what they're
asking
saying.
Abby.
These are the same questions I
I've
would have been
coming
asked
and
of
asking
Tuchel.
Abby these questions for weeks.
Exactly, these are the same questions I would have been asked of Tuchel.
I've been asking
Same questions.
Matisse the same questions.
But my
I even
answers
asked
are
my
not
own.
being... Do you know what I mean?
Huh?
My answers
It's
is what I'm
you
saying.
can't handle the pressure because you've not been used
can't
to this.
handle the pressure.
You've been
They can't.
winning. Right,
can't.
but welcome to our world.
Do you know what? This is too close to home for Liverpool fans. That's what it is. It's too close for some Liverpool fans. It's too close to home. We've had to deal with the same questions. Same questions.
Listen, you can have a bit of fun now. 'Cause I'm going to move on to the Arsenal, Man City.
That's not
Manchester
fun.
City
Wasn't actually.
beating Arsenal in the FA Cup for the first time ever since their first meeting in 1904. I can't believe that stat. But Manchester City boss Pep Guardiola now has 18 wins against Arsenal in all competitions. That's more than against any other side in his managerial career. It was a 1-0 defeat for Arsenal. I was at the game.
Did you enjoy it?
VIP.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I was speaking on
Tunnel club
that City
settings.
Square with Big Steve.
Yeah.
He was
saw.
giving it to me at the start of the
saw.
game. But I saw us change. When I stood up there and I was talking on that stage, I could look in the eyes of the City fans. And I see there's a little fear there. You know what I mean? Normally we come up there and we're yeah, you're right, Rob. This time, they're a little bit more spikier because they know. We're coming for them, man. We're coming for them. But listen, they won the game at the end of the day. I was surprised at how strong they went. I was stood in, they got like I think they call it a tunnel club. So I was in that. So you get to see the players when they came in. And I remember when the players came in and I saw like Haaland, De Bruyne, like all of them, Rodri. I was like, bloody hell, ain't they resting no one? You know what I mean? It's like they all walked in.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very even game. I don't know what you guys think. I thought it was a very even game. I thought we were the better team in the first half. They were the better team in the second half. Settled on a very good goal by Nathan Ake, who now we know is going to be the right back, you know, or the left back because
back, yeah.
Cancelo's gone. Yeah, I thought it was a really, really tight game. just settled on a little bit of magic by Nathan Ake. What did you think?
It's one of those things where it's like Pep won, but did he really win? That's the question. He won the battle, but did that help the war? Because now I look at it and I think to myself, right, you've beaten Arsenal, a rotated Arsenal that took off Partey early. 6 changes.
Took off Partey
and it was an even game, so you didn't even dominate. You didn't even put serious doubt into their title credentials by playing them off the park and whooping them with that stronger team. And now they're out of a competition and have less games for this title race while you progress. So it's like, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, was that really what we all needed as a community? I don't really feel like it was. I looked at Man City and I thought to myself, you guys have won, but I'm not any more impressed than I was the day before. You still look like you're not like the old Man City, which I know Man City fans are getting tired of hearing. And it was
but even they're saying it.
Yeah, and it was
even they're saying it. I was sat with someone they're saying it.
If Nketiah takes a couple chances, then it could be different, and it could have gone to a replay. Well. Yeah, it could have gone to a replay. And I'm looking at Holding comes into the team. He's wearing the armband. Lokonga comes on. I'm looking at 4 of the back 5 was changed. Trossard starts. The Vieira starts. There's no Odegaard. So now when they play each other in the Premier League and Arsenal go full strength, am I banking on City to win that 100%? I'm definitely not. So.
And I'll tell you what, the atmosphere at the Emirates will be electric. And I have to say, and I'm not trying to diss the City fans. These are what the guys around me were saying. Again, they were saying this is why Pep is trying to G the place up. Because they were very quiet, man. I mean, the Arsenal fans are making loads of noise. Obviously, 8,000 of them.
Yeah.
But the City, up until they scored, I could kind of see why now. Because I was sat right behind the dugout. I can kind of see what Pep's going on about now, where he's saying, come on, we need a bit more. I mean, listen, they've won so much over the years.
A bit spoiled, isn't it?
They're getting used to it. They're getting spoiled now, aren't they?
Hopefully they can not get used to it and do
now,
this
even
season.
when you see now the little Cancelo thing today, you start to think to yourself, is everything all right there?
I don't think it is.
No.
I think if things keep going like they are, i.e. not going to win the Premier League and lose it to Arsenal.
Do you think they're good enough to win the Champions League?
No, they've had better teams than this and they haven't won it yet. I think, listen, there's always a chance they could win it, but they haven't done it so far, and I think the pressure will probably be even more now on them to win it. But I think Pep is so scared of Arsenal. I really do believe it's Arsenal to lose now, and with this news of Cancelo leaving as well, it's kind of him, it's Bernardo Silva, a couple of players aren't really happy. And like Abby said, they are trying everything they can to not win this league now. I know he's fuming. Obviously, I'm fuming as well if Arsenal win it.
I feel.
Yeah, you're up there as well. But, Robbie, I think him having to go at the fans for not bringing the noise isn't new, by the way. I've seen City fans talking about how poor it's been in the last few weeks. You've got players revolting, wanting to leave, top players, starting players, maybe one of the best players in the whole league last year. Silva obviously has wanted out for a couple of years, another top player. You've sold Zinchenko, you're looking at him thinking, why have we done that? You've given Jesus to Arsenal. Everything is pointing at you guys to now take over from Man City, and I don't think Pep likes this at all. And I think winning 1-0 against Arsenal in the FA Cup, he's definitely won the battle, but the war is Arsenal's to lose.
I think you'll beat them.
I think you'll beat them home. It was a great test for Arsenal, and let's not forget that Arsenal team.
I just
6 points.
You take off Thomas Partey, and
obviously I don't want that to happen.
Draw, actually,
that's like a worst case scenario and a worst nightmare. But when I watch City every week, like you was just saying, like I don't look at them. Something's not right. Something is really, really off. And I've spoken about it before. I think that they have adapted the way they play. Some people can say they haven't, is my opinion. I think that they've completely changed the way they play. Everything now goes through Haaland, rather than having multiple wingers, multiple people moving the ball around. You can't catch everyone. They're quite predictable in the way that they're playing now, for me. And I think that is going to cost them. And I think that when I watch Arsenal, I obviously hate to say it, and I don't like to say it, but they are by far the best team in the league when I watch the football they play, and even when they bring in and make changes, they still look pretty good. I mean, I think you could have got something out of that game. It was just obviously unlucky for you that Nketiah didn't score, but you definitely had the ability to do something. And I just think that, and obviously I'm not writing off Manchester City, because I still think that they are the only probable candidate that could challenge you the whole way, just with the experience they've got. But I'm just not seeing the City that we've seen beat Liverpool in that battle year in, year out.
About it, though,
it's not. It's kind of like everyone's just saying it's Arsenal's to lose. Like if Arsenal are the leaders, that's how it's going to be. And the points isn't actually that much. Is it still 5 points?
No.
Is it 8 now?
It's more than that.
I think it's 5, but Arsenal got a game in hand.
Can't remember what it is.
Still a couple of comments there. The masculinist says, with Super Track, says, laugh out loud. Look, you can make excuses. The fact remains is there's still no reason for us to believe that Arsenal can beat City, and that's it. Okay, keep believing that.
Jesus.
RTX 3060Ti says Arsenal can't produce a single academy player. Meanwhile, City has Palmer, McCarthy, Foden, Rico, Wilson, etc., etc. Best academy in the world. What about Saka? You never heard of Saka?
Yeah, this is where I start.
You never heard of Smith Rowe? You never heard of Eddie Nketiah? What's up with this guy?
Did Balogun score against PSG?
Balogun yesterday, who scored the
he scored the most
equaliser
goals under a 23 in top 5 leagues.
This is where I start to get worried with City, right, fans? Because you guys, you promised me you was going to handle this. Yeah, and now you're starting to bicker about best academy. You're starting to tell me, Premier League is not really that important, Matisse. Champions League, we've always wanted that. When really it's been the complete opposite all those years.
It's getting very petty.
It's getting very petty. It's getting very desperate. And this is not a very confident fan base. It's not a very confident team. Not a very good atmosphere. I'm starting to get bad vibes, bad juju, and I'm not happy with it. So you guys need to straighten it out and just, get back on track and focus.
But they can get back on track.
They're saying you're rattled. They seem
they're rattled
well.
by Arsenal.
They can get back on track this weekend with a win at Tottenham.
Yes, so if you don't
go
mind,
right ahead.
But that's the type of game that Tottenham win now.
I know, but I'm still very much like, we've got to do this for the greater good.
Abby, don't
Can't
you
let
dare.
this happen.
Don't you dare, Abby.
Anyway, it was a 1-0. It was actually a defeat. I think people are forgetting. Manchester City. Manchester City are through to the next round and will be the favourites. The draw is going to be made tonight. Also in that draw is going to be Manchester United, who they won 3-1 at home against Reading.
3-1 or 3-0?
3-0.
Yeah,
3-1. No, 3-1.
3-1.
Oh, okay. 3-1. Casemiro again. Another good performance by him. There's this big debate going on after that about who's the best defensive midfielder in the Premier League. Casemiro, Rodri, or Thomas Partey.
Why did it take a game against Reading for that conversation to spiral up again?
Because Man United fans.
I think this I don't know. I think
United, by the way, unbeaten in their last 15 games in the FA Cup.
Okay. How's that? Well, what did they lose on penalties? Is that not counting penalties?
Must be.
Yeah, because they
must be at home. Must be at home.
Okay, yeah.
Home game. Sorry, at home.
The last one. So
they're very strong at home in the FA Cup. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, this debate's going to keep going.
Casemiro, Rodri, or Partey?
Yeah, I mean, how many times have we even been faced with this question over the last month? I think I rate all of them. I think it's just easier to say they're all brilliant. They're all brilliant. Partey's in incredible form. Every time you take him out of the Arsenal team, they look like a completely different team. Casemiro has completely transformed that Man United team, and he's got the pedigree on Champions League level for Real Madrid, so he's incredible. And then Rodri, you can't disrespect him for what he's done for City for the last couple of years, taking over from Fernandinho. So for me, I think you're splitting hairs. I still think you could
choose one for your team.
I'm still going Casemiro.
You could choose one for Chelsea.
I'm still going Casemiro because he's been there, done it, top level.
I'll go with him as well.
Yeah, Partey's obviously played latter stages, Champions League, etc. But
I would.
But it's they're all brilliant players.
They're all great players, and goes back to what you were saying right at the start of the show. How important that position is now, that sort of defensive midfielder. It's very, very important. Hops says everyone is scared of Arsenal and we love it. Fahim says Arsenal are the favourites. Anyone saying otherwise is delusional. Africana says Chelsea fan man is like a divorced woman. Let me be careful how I read this one.
Yeah, come on.
Telling her friends single life, yo. Freedom is awaiting. He says, get rid of Klopp and a 1 year on
You're trying to say I'm some sort of toxic.
It doesn't make much sense.
Are you trying to call me the toxic friend? Because you're not wrong. Join me.
Running through some of the other results pretty quickly. Leeds beat Accrington Stanley 3-1. So they're another Premier League team still.
Did you watch the game?
I did watch the game.
Did you see the fan getting on the pitch doing the worm?
What's up?
It's mad.
Honestly,
mad.
Some of these fans, I don't know what they... Well, I do know what they're on. Bloody hell.
No,
Leeds fan.
They're mad.
Oh my God.
Walsall 0, Leicester 1. Very tight game. Leicester with a deflected goal to get through in that one.
By the way, just quickly, we spoke about this on the Saturday Football Show. Iheanacho is now in the top 10 goal scorers in the FA Cup of all time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's big.
Southampton beat Blackpool 2-1, a goal for Charlie Patino, on loan, Arsenal player in that game. But Fulham won, Sunderland won, and if you saw the goal...
Yeah, it was disallowed.
He was 15, the kid, or something.
Yeah. But also the goal by Tom Kearney as well. I mean,
Great finish,
what a goal that was.
Good player, you know.
Yeah.
I think he's still the club captain of Fulham, but I feel like he could do a job where he's actually playing week in, week out, because he's a very good, technically gifted player.
And
Stoke 3, Stevenage 1, they got knocked out. Wrexham, the only non-league team left in, very, very unfortunate. They were winning it 3-2 in the last minute. Sheffield United got an equaliser. Came from 1-0 down in that game as well. It was a real excellent cup tie. But it finished 3-3 in the end, and that will go to a replay. Who are your favourites to win the FA Cup? Abby?
I mean, I'm not going to say us.
It's horrible options.
Just not. I'm probably just still going to go with City because been there, done it before. But I would still like... I'd hope that Tottenham can have a good run.
So who are you going with?
City. Yeah.
I'm going to go with, I think United, you know. If they get any more home draws as well.
Another cup final, so because they're going to be in the Carabao Cup final as well.
Yeah. They're in.
They could win.
They should just cancel that second leg.
But see, because of their depth, I think
I might go Man United. Where do you go?
I'll go with Tottenham.
That was so
such
poor.
A troll.
That was so half-hearted as well.
Troll.
No, it's actually the team I want to win it more than United and City. Why not? Switch it up a bit.
That's nice.
I've got no real hate for Tottenham. I know Ty's over there shaking his head, but put yourself in my shoes. I don't want United to win it. I don't want City to win it.
Brighton.
That's what I was going to say, Robbie. My stocks are going in Brighton. Yes, my stocks are going in Brighton.
Only if they give us Caicedo.
My stocks are going in Brighton. They play good football.
I never want to play Brighton
They're on
ever
this
again.
carefree. They're on this carefree, happy-go-lucky, free for all. They're proving everybody, wrong every single time. And any player that comes out of that team, they're replacing them with some random Venezuelan under 21.
It's true.
I'm telling you, Brighton have got some other player cooking that we haven't even heard of yet, and they're gonna come in.
Still in the womb.
Yeah, still in the womb. Do you know what I'm saying? The umbilical cord's not even being cut. I'm ready for Brighton to win this, man.
Brighton.
I'm not against it.
All right, it's been an FA Cup special. Just before we go, got to say a very happy birthday going out to Abby for last week. It was your birthday.
Oh my goodness!
To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Abby. Happy birthday to you.
All right, ready?
Not again. Bro, these guys with this, man.
He just loves that pop-up.
Every single.
He just loves that
How many of them they
pop-up.
got back there?
Bro, exactly. They must have a repeat order.
Did you manage to get the cake I said it looks like a
Thanks,
trophy? That one. You didn't go. I'm only joking.
Anyone want cake?
Definitely.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Happy birthday to you, Abby.
Thank you very much. Still got 1 year left for a 10:30. We'll just hold on to that. Hold on to it.
Well, listen, guys, thank you very much for watching the show today. Hope you enjoyed it. It was a FA Cup special. We're going to be back as normal next week, talking about all the games from the Premier League. Don't forget to subscribe to DR Sports so you can get all your notifications. Some excellent football coming up this weekend. But once again, thank you very much to Abby. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
AJ, you all right now?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just...
Get him a puppy.
It's not you.
Let's get him
I've got one. I don't need
you need a puppy now.
No, I've got a puppy. I still
it's
have
getting too big. You need a puppy. A little, fluffy.
Robbie.
New one that was born yesterday.
And thanks to Matisse as well. Right, I will be back next week here on DR Sports.